All right. Good evening, everybody. How we doing this fine Wednesday evening?
I'm doing good, but apparently somebody back in the corner there looks like they're ready for Halloween.
Yeah. We got a special guest joining us live from Florida. But before we get started, we're going to start the show like we do each and every night with our greatest amendment, the second, a well regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And I would bet that down in Florida, Chris, the right to keep and bear arms might get pretty important, don't you think?
Oh, I'm sure it's going to here before long. But I
And
promise
maybe
you, we're
even,
well prepared.
Yeah,
well, I'm glad to hear that. First off, we have to ask the question: are you safe?
I am safe,
All right,
as
that's
can be.
as
as
can
can
The
be.
be.
wind,
Yeah.
I can hear the wind whipping out there. It's probably gusting 70, 75 now.
Yeah.
But according to the news, they said about 90, 95, about all we're gonna get. So if
Well,
it
it sounded
stays
like
around
when
that,
it
we'll be
made
fine.
when it made landfall, it sounded like it was probably about a Cat 3, right?
Cat 3, yes.
So, well, it's good to hear that it wasn't what they were predicting up here. You guys are all going to die. I mean, you know how news exaggerates everything, and it sounded. If you listen to the news reports,
Well, yeah, it was pretty scary, wasn't it?
crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean they're still saying that, but this is actually no worse than any other one we've been through in the past since '04. Really. Charlie was worse than this in '04.
Right.
But I think everybody's gonna fare well. I mean, I may lose power before it's over with, but I'm prepared for that too. So
Right.
Yeah. Well, glad to hear everybody's safe down there and you're all prepared. And it just like I said, just another hurricane, just like we go through another blizzard every year.
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. I tell you, I'd much rather go through a hurricane than a blizzard.
Well,
Not gonna lie.
it does sweep through probably faster than a blizzard, and then of course we have the snow to move. Plus, sometimes it's 0, 20 below. Who knows where
Oh
it'll
yeah.
be?
Oh yeah.
And generally,
Yep.
I have livestock I got to feed during those times. So yeah, it gets a little interesting. So well, looks
That
like everybody's getting tuned in here. So, for those of you that are tuning in just now, we have Mr. Chris Hawk. He's from Florida. He's down there in that Lake Placid area. And if you're not familiar with that, it'd be what, south of Tampa Bay, about what?
about an hour and a half south of Tampa Bay, right in the
Yeah.
middle of the state.
Right in the middle of the state. That's where we go down there and have a lot of fun every, 2, 3 years. We try to get down there and hook up with Chris and the boys and have a lot of fun chasing hogs. So, we appreciate that as always. And we
And
get a
my
lot.
Well, I've
What's
been
that?
hearing we got one coming up. What, January, February? If everybody can make it, I'm talking to some of the other members, and they're wanting to set another one up. So
Yeah, that's what it
well,
kind of sounded like.
my son's excited to have some more. What was it? Buffalo spaghetti? Was that what we had that one time that you were up
Buffalo.
here?
Oh, I think it was when Chris was here. That's right.
Yeah,
You were up
buffalo
here,
spaghetti.
Chris. I think Mike was up here at the same time.
Yeah, we
okay,
stopped in.
But I think he joined us when you stayed down at our cabin down in the lake, Chris.
right. You
You and
put us
Gary
out there in the
came.
middle of nowhere, away from civilization, which
Well,
I
that
can
wasn't all
understand.
bad.
No, that
Uh,
was a great trip. I loved it.
well, I hope to get you up here again. And we got, like I was telling you earlier, we got birds again. It's not what it was, but I tell you what, I feel comfortable enough now to hunt a few even on our own place, and
Yeah.
I haven't had that
Right,
in years. So
that's good. That's good.
we got to give a
You know
shout
me,
out
I just come out.
our Rumble viewers. Thanks for tuning in over there on Rumble. It looks like everybody else is following us. You can check out Twitch for me, Mike, and see. I believe there's
Yeah, I'll
people.
check that out too. So, hey, Chris, by the way, so back when Helene came through and hit everybody, of course, there were some parts I think in northern Florida that were doing a no gun area was allowed. I think is it Okoboji
Okeechobee.
or Okobogi?
Okeechobee? No, Okeechobee's
Okeechobee.
been rest.
Okeechobee. I'm trying to
No,
remember what.
that's if it was Okeechobee, I'm surprised because Okeechobee is a big gun county.
Yeah.
It was your sheriff, and about
Yep.
2 hours after he made this supposedly executive order, for lack of a better term, he rescinded it and said he made a mistake. Imagine that. I imagine in that
Well,
particular area, his phone was probably flooded.
Yeah.
imagine that because most of the sheriffs down here are telling everybody to keep their guns loaded and off of safety.
Yes,
There you go.
absolutely. Well,
So, you know,
Can you lend us
that's
some sheriffs? Because apparently we need to have those kind of guys here. So
absolutely, man. I'm telling you, Florida's, and all joking aside, but you know, most of these guys down here are playing hardcore now, man. They're not playing no more. It's
good.
you
That's good
get
to hear.
caught looting and everything else, you will be shot.
well,
Yeah, I've even heard your sheriffs actually tell people, "Listen, someone's coming in, they're robbing you, they're looting you. Just go ahead and just take care of business, and we'll
That's
take care
right.
of it when we
That's
get
right.
there." And
Take care
that's how
of
that
them.
should be. That's a true constitutional
yeah.
sheriff. We are lacking in both North and South Dakota.
Well, most of the country's lacking in that.
Yes, they are. They truly are. And that's why it's so important that we should probably, even though we got to fix state, legislatures, we got to fix our federal, got the Congress, and every place else. We really need to focus on electing those sheriffs that are on our side because their whole thing is to be there to protect us from stupid things like executive orders that ban the sale of guns during emergencies.
Right.
So
By the way, the Twitch is up, and we got some couple listeners over on that. So there we go. So we're good to go on Twitch as well.
yeah, no, glad to hear that. So Lynette Kay, she says, and she's a longtime listener and also the wife of one of our great sponsors. So Lynette, thanks for tuning in there. She says she's over on the new Facebook page, and she goes, DeSantis warned everybody not to loot. And yeah, I think I heard him say that too. I'm guessing you guys heard that on while you were down
Oh
there.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, I watched him in the primary, and he made a run. It was his first time. He made a lot of mistakes, but I'm not gonna hold that against DeSantis. And I tell you what, he's one hell of a governor. When it comes time to step up, he does it. It seems like I don't know. I'm guessing you guys are very happy with him.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Absolutely. He's a good
I
one.
honestly think he could make a good president. But he dipped his toe in the water, and first time in, and he's not done. He's not going to go away. I'm pretty sure he's going to be completely active in the future.
Yeah.
I hope so.
But
Well,
if he runs for president and would win, then you guys would have to find a new governor, and that wouldn't be so great. You could end up with someone you don't want.
Right. Well, after Trump wins this election, he can be our governor. He lives
There
down
we
here.
go. Oh,
Hey.
that would tweak. That would tweak the left. That would be
That's
funny.
right.
Heck,
That's
he could run
right.
for Congress and be in Congress. Oh,
that'd be
that'd be
the
That's
better.
be the
right.
first
That's
time that we
right.
ever had the 49 states trying to cut off one state and succeed.
Yeah. Oh, so
That's
no,
okay. Florida can be its own country, man.
There we go.
Hell,
There we go.
we'll have
got it.
Florida. You guys can do that. We'll secede up here with North and South Dakota. We can supply you oil and gas and food, and you guys can supply
That's
us
right.
fishing
That's
and,
right.
and recreation and
That's
all
right.
kinds of
Hog hunting and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, the Axe says, Chris, how is your cat doing? He's talking about the one that flipped out while we were at
Oh,
hunting.
my cat's doing great. He's already attacked my son-in-law. I mean, that was a funny one. He got him good. He walked up one and down the other leg. I mean, it was. He fed him a jalapeno pepper and it pissed him off. So
Damn cats are psycho. They
hey,
got a little
he
inner
still
devil.
got that scar on his head where I hit him with a spatula.
I say you smoked him pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I remember we were
Little
laying there
shit.
still in our cots, and all we heard is "You crazy son of a bitch."
That's right.
So, Mike,
Yeah.
like I said, Chris is the one we go down to see, and Mike is part of Rack's adventure team, has been since pretty much the beginning as well. And he's going to try to come this time, Chris. So we're
Okay.
looking forward to next time.
Okay.
And we're kind of thinking about possibly, like, I know my son wants to come this time,
Yeah.
and I think his
Bring it.
son does. So I'll visit
Yeah.
with you, but I'm sure that's okay. But I want to make sure it is. And we're talking about
Oh,
bringing
yeah.
our sons down this time.
Yeah, now that they're old
Absolutely. You
enough,
know
yeah.
how I am about family, buddy. I mean, it's.
I know. Well, and
So,
you'll love this. Leighton is still, remember when we came down, he still wants to catch a shark. And So Chris
Huh?
Johnson, who lives north of you,
Right.
he's been on the Sharks lately, and he's invited Leighton to come down. So I might actually make a screaming trip down there, flying down there between now and the end of November. We'll see. If that wasn't
Okay.
really planned, because he knows where they're at. He's been hammering them, and he doesn't really care for them. He just likes catching them. So we might
Right.
actually fly in. I think he said Jacksonville's is closer to him, and we might try
Yeah,
to.
Jacksonville. I mean, or you can probably fly into Tallahassee. It'd probably be a little closer
Oh,
to him.
I'll have to just check out what the flights are like, and if it happens, it's great. It's going to be one of the deals. We leave Friday and we're back on Sunday, so it'll be a rush
It'll
trip.
be a
But
quick trip. Hey,
maybe we can make Leighton's little dream come true and get him a shark. I think it'd be.
There you go. That'd be nice.
well, that'd be a good deal, man.
But I won't
And
get to
let me
come
know
see
when you're
you.
coming, and I'm try to get up there.
Oh, I will. I'll definitely do that. We'd love to have you up
Yeah.
there. I think it's quite a drive for you, but that's you're
No,
used to
man.
that. Ain't you?
I just got back from Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh
I'm hauling
wow,
boats a little bit around
yeah,
now, so
that's nothing then.
I'm all over the place. Going to Tallahassee, Pensacola. That's just a drop in the bucket, brother.
So I see people are still just joining in. If you're joining in right now, thank you for listening. And we are talking with Chris Hawk. He's from down there in that Lake Placid area in Florida, just kind of giving us an update. Which, in all honesty, it's nothing like what the news said. Things are pretty good. It's a Cat 3 right now. And they're having a hurricane party right there at his house. He's got his family there, so everyone's safe. And you're just going to ride this one out like you have so many, right?
Yes, sir. Ride it out.
Kind of like we
Get
Well,
up at daylight and assess the situation.
I wish that CNN and MSNBC would interview you, because that'd be a lot more fun than the idiots they've been interviewing left and right. We bought this house down here and we never expected there to be any major storms hitting us. And I'm like going, it just blows my mind. I'm like going, that's like living in South Dakota and, well, it's never going to get a snowstorm here. It's never going to get a tornado
Yeah.
here.
Right, right. Well, they
It's
interviews with a few people down here before Helene, and then 10 days later we're getting this one, Milton, and now they're predicting another one in 10 days to 2 weeks. So
Well, that's what you were
most
telling
of
me.
these,
And that's the first I had heard of that one coming behind Milton. They're saying
Right.
nothing
Right.
about that here. And I
you'll
find
be
that,
hearing about it here before long.
I mean, it's kind of coincidental. That'll put us right on top of the election too, right?
yeah,
Oh yeah,
just about.
yeah.
And I always wonder what the contingency plans are on such things during elections. I mean, how do you maintain a fair election to get everybody there? I mean, if the polling centers aren't there, I mean, well, as a matter of fact, my radio group owns a big house down in Clearwater, and Helene wiped, I think Clearwater, and Helene wiped it off the map, and so we got nowhere to vacation for the radio station anymore. So, but
Well, I found it interesting. I was digging around on some stuff too, and Tampa Bay actually has this kind of contingency plan that they started. It was something they started in 1962, and then it morphed into what it became here in the early 2000s. And they actually had this plan for a major hurricane event. The thing is all I've been hearing otherwise is that they don't know what to do, and they don't have this, and they don't have that. And I'm sitting there going, they made this video that actually simulated a really, really bad hurricane in the Tampa Bay area, but they don't seem to know what to do. But they've spent literally millions of dollars on this. I just don't know. I don't understand it. They should have this plan and ready to rock and roll. But sounds like
because I will tell you, dealing with the government in here in South Dakota, like you've dealt with in North Dakota, like you've dealt with in Florida, probably, is that they're always good to come up with money to do a study, and to do a plan, and to do a study on the plan, and then plan on the study. And pay for all that, but never actually implementing a single thing. It's like government. We've talked about guys that worked in government for years, and when they got to actually, implement something, it never works because they got no skin in the game. They don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Well, have you ever
Right,
heard of
right.
that? Have you ever heard of that plan down there, Chris, in the years you've been in the area?
I've heard of a lot of different plans and contingency plans on what we got to do if this happens or what we got to do if that happens. But the thing of it is, down here in the tropics, I mean, it's just like these hurricanes. Helene was expected to hit the west coast, and it went up
Right.
to the Big Bend area and kept on going. You just never know where these things are going to go, and they predict them the best that they can, but it's just like Milton here. This morning we expected it to come right across the middle of the state, and now it's
Yeah.
going up a little further north. And like I told you a while ago when we were on the phone, Clay, I didn't really get nervous with this one until this morning, when I
Right.
thought that it was going to come and a direct hit straight east or west of me,
Well,
and
and that's kind
that's
of what
when
it looked like. Yeah, at first.
yeah. So you just never know, and a matter of an hour and a half, this thing can totally change direction. And
Well, I know
so
they were
as far as
talking.
contingency plans, hey, if you're scared to ride it out, leave. That's all I can say. That's the best contingency plan there is.
Yeah, and if you don't know what to do and you think you're gonna, you don't know what to do, yeah, hop in your vehicle and drive away from it for now.
Right, and I tell you, it's a scary thing for people that's never come through a hurricane when they're talking winds over 100 mile an hour.
Yep.
I can hear it outside now gusting, and I can hear the winds, and but it's already broke a few limbs at the house, but
Yeah.
you know,
What'd she say? It was
It's a 65 HCB sank with a 19-year-old captain that they can't get the Coast Guard to.
oh, okay.
sorry about that. I was talking to my daughter.
No, that's
That's right.
okay.
She was just showing me something, but yeah. I mean, if you've never rode one out, man, I can understand it being scary. That's just like me coming up there and getting out in the wilderness somewhere and a big snowstorm coming up.
Yeah, and
I would survive, but I'd still be scared.
well, and I've had people here who had never experienced blizzards.
Right.
Actually at my place, I'm like, oh, this ain't nothing. I said, well, this one will pass through here, and we'll dig out, and we'll be back out there in about an hour hunting. It's the ones
Right.
that sit in for 2 or 3 days and drop feet and feet and feet of snow, which sucks. I mean, it does. And we've had anywhere, I've had 50-mile-an-hour gusts here that I went out with my Kestrel and recorded. Or you have snow blowing so hard you can't even see across to our trees. You know where we live, just right there, our
Oh, yeah.
trees in the yard. Yeah, I mean, you sit there and you just kind of hunker down and make sure everything you're prepared. Usually, there's plenty of warning. And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the hurricanes. It doesn't always follow the direction they think it's coming. It's not exactly like it because we don't have it coming off of water where it's hitting hot and cold air and shifting and doing other things. But it still sucks. I mean, it does. But
Well,
Oh,
when
absolutely.
I started out in radio, I started out in Myrtle Beach, and so we're dealing with hurricanes there and whatnot. Not as much as you guys got them. Usually, you got them way before us down in Florida, but we had that plus of being able to see it coming for quite a while and making a plan accordingly and whatnot. So that's a little different sometimes with us here. Sometimes here it just, well, then again, you guys get tornadoes and whatnot popping up when these storms coming around. But that's more what we got here: tornadoes during the summer and whatnot, and then these massive snowstorms. Like we had that one, 4 or 5 years ago, that wiped out a lot of the
a lot of
farmers, ranchers, cattle out on the West River. So yeah, it's everybody's got their own individual thing. So it's a massive mess sometimes, but you got to have a plan.
Chris, why don't you tell them
Right.
what you're telling me about the tornadoes? Because we actually heard about that. I was watching Weather Nation, which was a little more
Right.
accurate
Well,
and kind of saying what you were saying. But tell them about the tornadoes that you basically have never seen like that.
well, on this storm here, there's actually been more recorded tornadoes than ever.
Mhm.
And I'm not really sure how many, but we had a couple right down the road from the house. As you know, my wife is a nurse and works for the state, so she was called in for emergency management.
Yeah.
Uh, and on her way to work, she was actually turned around because of a big tornado right there in Sebring. So they've been widespread from South Florida to here and possibly even up north a little bit. But there has been more tornadoes on this storm than ever.
Wow.
Mm.
And well, as long as it doesn't take out our eating place there in Sebring, we'll be fine.
Oh yeah, we're good there. We're good there. And I see that people are texting in on this as well.
They are.
What
So
is
Lynette
Lynetta
asked
K's
you,
asked me where I'm from, and I'm
yes.
from Florida. born here in 1969 and raised all over the world. So
Cool.
I am a true Florida.
Lynette's got kids down there, so her and Axe actually go down there more often than the guy thinks because they always are visiting kids.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, Dan, thanks for tuning in tonight. Dan Brown's joining us. And again, we're really picking up. We got around 15, 20 on our Rumble channels. We got 25 or so that are bouncing up in here. So, we're close to that 50 mark tonight. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. And if you're just coming on, like I've seen several again, we're talking to Chris Hawk, talking about the Florida hurricane down there. So we don't exactly have the other things that we were going to talk to, but that's okay. And the reason I kind of want to have Chris on is because, they're not really telling the truth up here a lot of times. I notice that.
Yeah.
I mean, when we was listening to the news, it sounded like that whole wherever that hit, they're going to kill everybody. I mean, that is really kind of what they were saying: get out or die. And it's not the truth. Also, it's a great opportunity to just show you that the Second Amendment comes into play because you may need it. There's always going to be people that try to take advantage of a situation like this and try to rob, loot, steal, whatever you want to call it. They're thugs, and that's where the Second Amendment comes pretty handy. And Florida has some great laws when it comes to that, and it does preempt most of the cities and municipalities and counties as far as they can't do certain things because it's kind of like South Dakota. You can't pass an ordinance that's more restrictive than that of the state. So
they try.
They tried in Okeechobee, and that didn't last but 2 hours, and the guy rescinded it. And we actually reported on that. That was right after the last hurricane. So I'm going to put you guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to thank some of our sponsors. Again, you're tuning in tonight and not expecting the show you were going to hear. Well, that's okay. We got a better one. We got our good friend Chris Hawk with us. So stay with us. We're going to play a little bit of some advertisements and pay some bills. We'll be right back after this.
With the Port Commission. I'm from the Athlete's Foot Foundation.
Brother, hey, can you get my demo tape to somebody?
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
All right, welcome back. Hey, you're lit up a little better after the break.
Yeah, man, I decided to get my big ass off the couch and get up to the table.
No worries. So, again, joined by Chris Hawk. He's out of Lake Placid, Florida, and he's down there in that area where a bunch of us go down and do a little hog hunting. So I thought, hey, I'd give him a holler and send him a text, see how he's doing. He said, hey, why don't I come on? I said, sounds good. So here we are.
Yeah, man.
So wind's picking up. And I know that, like I said, you were what, probably figuring 45, 50 mile-an-hour winds right now? Probably.
Yeah, right now. And it's probably going to get up to about 90 to 100 before, once it's just now hitting land. So once it moves across the state, it'll get coming on.
And it hit at about a category 3. It might pick up a little steam the way you're talking, maybe into a 4, but they're not.
Well, normally once it hits land, it dissipates. It won't pick up coming across. Now, if it goes out into the Atlantic, it could possibly build going out in the Atlantic. So
right. Well, is that hitting warmer water? Is that what causes that? Or,
absolutely, yeah. Yep. Warm water causes it to build.
Then hopefully, could that make it swing north again?
It could possibly swing north, but they're predicting it to just keep moving west and die out.
Good. Well, that's good. I'd hate to see that. I've seen that before where they come across Florida, and then
in the 60s it did that.
And it goes north, and it goes right back into the Carolinas, and they just don't need that right now. They just don't.
Right.
The reports out of North Carolina are horrible. I got a good buddy. He runs a sign company. In fact, in 2020, I had to make a bunch of signs for a deal we were doing here in North Dakota, and got a hold of him. He's a former Marine, and he says it's where he was at, he's fine. It didn't really affect him, but he goes, it's not good where it hit, and he was very frustrated with how the logistics were being handled by FEMA and government agencies. They weren't really doing anything, so a lot of them they just, he's a Marine. They get the job done, right? Him and a bunch of buddies, they picked up and they took their gear and away they went along, and they joined up with some of the other ones. I know that the Cajun Navy is up there, and there's several groups up there taking care of it. And he goes, the worst part was when FEMA tried to shut them down, they weren't having none of it. Let's just make a long story short. Their group went in and FEMA went away. Just leave it at that.
Well, that's going to have to be what it happens up North Carolina. I don't know if you've been watching the news up there where them people got hit by a lane so bad. FEMA's up there. They're saying they've exhausted all their money.
Yeah.
And they don't have nothing to take care of people up there now since, our Democratic Party is taking care of our illegal aliens here instead of the American people.
I know, isn't that horrible? That's atrocious to think that can happen right here. And it is. That's what's happening right now.
It is. And it's happening.
And it's happening right now. Hey, Dave says, good to see you, Chris. I don't know if you remember Dave. He came down and he joined us down there last week. And he says, good to see you and good to have you on. So
yeah, it's a pleasure. Pleasure.
1760 Sports. Got to give him a little plug there. So
there you go.
No, like I said, I think the Second Amendment comes into play, especially from what I'm hearing out there in North Carolina from him and a couple other people I know that they're carrying every day. They're carrying their ARs, single point sling. They're making it very well known. Don't mess with me. And they said that right now it's not too bad as far as that's going. It's just the people that need help that are in the worst situations. Those that need to be rescued, essentially. I guess it's devastating. I have no clue. I mean, I've seen some pictures on the news. I don't know how much of it I believe, but other people have sent me a few things, and it don't look good. It don't look good at all.
Well, I'll tell you, the other day, my wife was showing me videos of convoys of people just going up there and taking things and hay, for the cattle up there and the livestock, and things like that. But they're saying that FEMA's telling them if they come and try to do anything, they're going to be arrested.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what you do.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, if they're coming to loot, great, arrest them. But if they're coming to help, let them people.
If they're coming to loot, kill them.
Yep, kill them. There you go. I agree. Protect your property and eliminate them from the face of the earth because they're useless.
And not only that, it'll eliminate all their kids and everything else that they plan to have in the future that'll be just like them.
I can't agree more. Amen to that.
Sorry, I got.
That's okay. Fun.
Hard views on that.
If you're going to say that, this is the show to say it. So
hey, we've said stuff like that, Chris. Don't worry about that.
You know I'm not scared to say it. I know.
And I feel the same way. I feel that my property, I will protect my property with everything I have from anybody.
That's right. That's right.
And
That's
I
right.
really don't care. It's the old saying, you know, I will die. I will die a free man. I will not be a slave that's on my knees. And that just isn't gonna. It's the way it's gonna be. Plain and simple.
That's right. That's right.
So, well, now let's move on from the hurricane. Have you bought any good guns? I'll just throw that out there.
Have I bought any good guns lately? I got a SIG 17 about 2 weeks ago that I really don't care for, but
Okay.
that's about the last gun I bought.
Well, I know Deacon's got one. I know Mike got another gun, but he won that at a banquet, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, we had that one down at the Corn Palace here in Mitchell, and I got lucky and picked myself up. Well, actually, I had it before, but it was that Walther CCP 9mm, and I had it before and let my father-in-law talk me into selling it to him, and felt like an idiot. Wanted the thing back, so finally I was like, well, since I got a little money burning a hole in my pocket and a free gun, I just went down there to our local Palace City Pawn and picked one up. And of course, McPeak there, he set me up pretty quick, got it for me right away, and I was pretty happy. Of course, there's like 19 other guns that are sitting in there that I want too. So I either got to win some more or got to start forking over some cash, I guess. So.
You have to build yourself a little gun fund. You got a promotion there at work. Go ahead and just put a little of that away, and that's your new gun fund.
Yeah, well, now I've got funds for this and funds for that and funds. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you know how it is. But
Yeah,
it's all right.
I gotta say that I've been blessed. When I met Danelle, one thing I told her, I said, don't say anything about my hunting and my guns because that ain't gonna work. I like to hunt and I like to shoot guns. And she says, you just don't say anything about my horse habit and we're good. I think I got the better end of that deal, don't you?
Well, your guns go up in value.
Yeah, horses don't.
Horses do not. Hey, by the way, speaking of Danelle posted a picture last week or week before of a wolf sighting up near you guys.
I guess, yeah. I'm not on Fascist Book much anymore, but
yeah, I know
something about it. And it's not the first time we've had wolves spotted, even in our area. So possibility, I guess, it's always out there. We got bears over there on the western side of North Dakota, along the Montana North Dakota border into the Badlands, even where Scott Buckmeyer lives.
Right.
Had two of his cows actually killed by bears. He's got it on his game cams, and Game and Fish just they're just passing through.
Passing through for lunch is what they're passing through for.
Hell, I had a bear the other day in my trash. Caught on our door cam. Yep.
Wow. Well, I know that they got bears in Florida. I know that.
Oh yeah.
You're predominantly black bear, aren't you? Though down there.
Yeah, we're all black bear down here. Yeah.
When I was raised in Kentucky, I saw black bear a lot, but I never got to hunt them. So now I want to, and I got a little cash. It's kind of one of the things I want to do.
Well, I've been fortunate. I've been up in Virginia and West Virginia a couple years, and I was able to kill my first black bear about 4 years ago, and then went back the next year and killed another one.
There you go.
Hey, it's off my bucket list now. So.
Well, like New Jersey had a thing about 4 or 5 years ago where they reopened black bear season after like 40 years of just having a ban on it. And people were all freaking out and whatnot. And the thing about it is that the population had grown so massive it needed to be culled. And, and people just don't understand. It's just like, well, if your Prius doesn't want to hit a deer, well, let us hunt. If you don't want bears going through, your property or messing with your kids and everything else out in the playgrounds, let us hunt. That's just what we do. There's a reason for it. Man, it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Bears sound like a great idea till you have to live with them.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. It's kind of like mountain
lions. I'm a firm believer, but everything God put on earth has a purpose. So,
Absolutely.
I could live with the bears. It's the humans that are infringing on their property.
Right.
Well, bears out here, they were out in some of the areas out here in the Dakotas, but predominantly they stuck around the hills or they stayed, more in the Badlands, things like that. We had a lot of elk out here though. We did. We had wolves. If you go back and look, but the wolves that got here today are not the wolves that were on the prairie back then. The ones on the prairie back then were smaller. They weren't near as aggressive, but they brought the big healthy wolves from northern Canada, and that's how they repopulated. And those things, well, it's a complete. They got no real predators. Is the problem that will take them out.
What do you think, Chris, on your side with Helene coming through, and whenever you see storms like this come through, predators passing through your area, do you see an increase in that? Is that kind of one of the telltale signs that bad storm is coming or something, or what do you think?
Well, I mean, they'll run and hunker down, but it's hard to say down here. It's so flat down here.
Right.
They migrate everywhere. And as well as I do, animals know about bad weather before we do. So, 9 times out of 10, when it does get bad down here, they do go for cover. Not out in the opens. And Clay's been down here. He knows how open it is down here.
Yep.
So yes, they'll move around. They'll move around.
Well, and you take a storm that comes through, just look at your place right there, how it changed the landscape right there.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I think that affects you guys way more than it does here. Yeah, we get blizzards, but it doesn't fundamentally change our landscape like it did down there. I mean, there were places down there that we hunted that, well, they weren't really huntable anymore. And then other places that were full of sand that had water. I mean, it fundamentally changes everything, which is going to change how the animals react and what they do in their habits too. So
Right.
I know that around here, wolves, they are being seen. Eric just said, we've seen 3 wolves in his area, over the past 10 years. I know they're moving back out here, and they're going to. How could they not? Just like the mountain lions moved in again. They came up out of Wyoming into the Black Hills, and then eventually they made it up into the Slim Buttes, and now we have a prairie mountain lion season, and people are pretty successful at it. So far, we've kept them in check.
Might be something I'm interested in doing.
Well, it's like, what is it, Clay? It's like 33 males and like 30 females or something like that on, I think, West River. And, and when it finally gets taken, then they cancel the season. But yeah, it goes pretty much for a big chunk of the year.
Yeah, like in South Dakota, you can buy a tag. It's basically what you would call an over the counter. I mean, you got to get online, you get it. And then they allow so many males, so many females to be harvested. And you got to keep track of that during the season. Season's longer. I remember the first time I hunted it was only 2 weeks. And I think there was 10 lions is all you could take total between males and females. I didn't even look what it is now, but that's how it works in South Dakota. North Dakota is similar. You can buy them, and I usually get one and have it in my pocket because why not? If I see one, I know there's one up on the river to the north of us, but I've never been able to catch him yet.
Actually, my wife saw one down here not far from our hospital 2 years ago down by a creek bed near my father-in-law's place. So, yeah, she was like, oh, my God. She was to say it's the first time she's lived here her whole life. And I won't say how long that has been, but she's lived her whole life. And it's the first time she ever seen a mountain lion. So, yeah, it's like, they're here, too. They're following that river.
They've been moving out to the eastern part of both states quite a bit. I think the ones in North Dakota are actually either coming down from Canada or possibly coming out of Minnesota. I'm not sure. Well, they could have traveled across the state. Who knows? Them lions can travel. I mean, they put collars on them, and it's amazing how far they'll travel. We don't have the bear problem that a lot of people do yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got elk and moose moving through here once in a while too. So, and Chris, I'll have to check and see if non-residents can do a mountain lion. I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, hell, Chris, I got nothing better to do. I'll log in here and find out for you while we're all talking. There you go.
That'll work. That'll work. I don't have a Wayland no more, so
yeah.
We don't have a Wayland. Well, we still have a Wayland. He's just
still have a Wayland, but I mean, anybody that knows us knows that joke. So
that's right. That's right. Eric says there. Eric, he chimed in here. I figured he knew. He says,
he knew.
He said
Eric knows it all.
Only in the Black Hills Fire District. Outside the Black Hills, it's open year round and no quota, but 1 per person. There you go. There we got it.
There you go. Okay,
there you go.
All right, I'll shut off my website then and come back to the show. There we go.
Well, yeah, just participate and you will be busy, right?
There you go. Yeah.
So I don't even know. Is there a bear season in Florida?
There is. They opened it up, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years ago. And, funny you said that because Jennifer's cousin
Mhm.
down in Florida here, he applied and got a tag. And I
Right.
think he actually killed the first black bear down here. And, when they posted that, poor guy was getting death threats and everything else about
Geez,
killing
yeah.
the bears. Which is insane. But, like you said a while ago, they open a season for a reason.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If there wasn't a reason to kill them out, then they wouldn't open it.
Well, it's just good
So,
management, plain and
It
simple.
is. It
I mean,
is.
that's how you manage them. You can't let them just overpopulate either. And so, my question is, how does it change when a hurricane rolls through that way? Does it change the fishing, even offshore? And maybe
Oh, yes, it does. It does.
okay.
It changes the
Is that
fishing.
Marissa there?
Yeah, Marissa's right
How
here.
you
That's
doing, Marissa?
Marissa. Hey there. And that's my 3-year-old. She's
Yeah, there we
a little
go.
shy. So,
We'll make you famous, Marissa, right?
So blonde hair kind of comes in the family, right? Is that what
oh,
you're saying?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. They get their good looks from their mama, not me.
Right.
It says mountain lion hunting is allowed in 3 regions. Zone 1, Southwest, Zone 2, the rest of North Dakota. That's really good. It says it right here. Marissa looked it up for me. And Fort
Berthold
Indian Reservation.
Yep, Indian Reservation. Yes. Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, that's the 3 zones there.
There we go. There's how it works in North Dakota.
Yep.
And they do, they harvest a fair amount. I mean, it's nothing like South Dakota because South Dakota has the hills and there's a lot of lions.
Right.
In the hills.
Right.
In fact, it would have been Gary down there in Custer was one of our, you met him, Mike, Gary Gruber. Him and his boys have taken a lot of lions and he knows how to do it. He always waits for that first snow and then he just tracks them. He just gets on the track and goes. And he says, you'll find them. You just got to be willing to walk along.
Well, and the thing about it is
Don't
that, go ahead,
Go,
Chris.
I said, don't y'all have dogs that'll run them?
You're not allowed to use them in South Dakota.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a big change in South Dakota. And one of the things is that you'll see the guys that live out in the hills and whatnot. I mean, that live there, they don't go running around looking and all that until that first snow falls. I mean, they let everybody else run around and spook everything and whatnot. But when that first snow falls, they are out there tracking like you wouldn't believe, and they get them.
Oh, our lights are flickering.
Oh, we might lose you here, huh?
We might. And let me go ahead and answer this question. Is there panther hunting in Florida? No, you cannot kill a panther in Florida. You stand a better chance of killing your wife.
Really? Wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there a lot of panthers in Florida?
There is quite a few. When y'all are down, I've actually got a pair of them that live out there.
Oh, really?
I've seen them, 8 or 10 times, but they do make themselves scarce.
Well, and that's pretty typical. Mountain lions, bobcats, you can hunt them, but they don't really like, they don't really like to be found. So Eric says, hey, and I know I haven't checked the rules in South Dakota. So can use dogs in Custer State Park. So there we go. Custer State Park is separate basically from the Black Hills in general.
Yeah.
And you can use dogs in Custer State Park. And I don't know if Ryan still has them, Eric, but Ryan used to have a set of dogs, I thought. But maybe he doesn't have those anymore. I know at one time I thought he did. But we got a good friend, Marty Beard. He's got dogs, and he would go down, I believe, to Utah and New Mexico and run lions. And he's got a good set of hounds. So that would be fun.
I think it would be too.
You have to talk to Marty. Maybe you and me. Maybe we need to go out and meet him out in Utah or somewhere and run some lions. I've never done it.
I don't think you had to talk him into it there, Clay. I think he
probably
was good for
not. Well, he runs coons here too. Up there in North Dakota along the river, he'll run coons.
Running coons.
So Ryan still has his dogs. So hey, we might have to put something together here. Something we've never done before.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like coming down and chasing hogs, although You know what? I had 2 good trips down there, and I kind of let everybody else. I go along for the fun and visiting. As you noticed, I did not kill any hogs or even really
Well, I
try.
don't know. The first year, I think you smoked everybody. So, you've
Looked like
already got the record down here. So,
I was gonna say,
you ain't got
kind of looked
nothing
like
else to prove.
yeah, it looked like Jonestown, didn't it, when you showed up?
Yeah, it
That's
did.
where I was at.
Showed up, you had them stacked up like cordwood, man.
Oh man.
Well,
Well,
Chris, we got prairie dogs up here and varmints and stuff like that. What's your thing down there? Is I know closer over in Louisiana and whatnot, they've got those what are they, marmots or something like that, or what? Clay, you know what I'm talking about. Those they look like rats, but they're not rats. They're
Nutrients.
Thank you. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but what do you guys got down there that is a normal thing that you guys can go out and varmint hunt?
Whatever we can put the crosshairs on.
There you go.
possums, armadillos.
Possums, armadillos. Yeah, we kill a lot of armadillos, and which I do that anyway because armadillos.
Nope.
Uh-oh. I saw the lights flash, and we might have lost Chris.
I sent you some footage of some of the lightning strikes going over top of Florida right now with the Milton, and so it's I don't have access to jump on there right now to throw that stuff on there today, but it's hitting pretty hard right now, and
we coming back on.
Oh,
there he is.
There
he is.
Back
it's
on.
good thing you've got Marissa there for your IT, for your tech.
Right. Well, no, the power went off, so it took it a minute for it to reconnect, but
so
it's going to happen.
I can remember when I was down there, I wasn't sure if my gun was on, so I tested it out on an armadillo. There on a possum. There was nothing wrong with my gun. It was all me that time.
Yeah, well, it's good.
Right.
It's good to have that buck fever once in a while for something new, though, isn't it? I mean,
One thing and Chris can back me up on this is what I found interesting was the fact that I did not realize that till we went down there that a hog's eyes do not reflect back to you, like deer.
No, they don't.
So that's always a telltale sign because down there you can shoot 24/7. You can spotlight. So when you're spotlighting, like, well, hell, there's one. No, that's reflecting back. That's something else, and I didn't know that. So I don't know. I bet that's something that not all of our audience even knows.
No, I didn't. Yeah.
And it was funny with these guys too. The first time they come down out there shining and shooting hogs with a light, they were more nervous than I ever seen in my life. Everybody was looking all around, make sure game warden wasn't around, and I was just trying to set them up.
Well,
so,
you did set me up this year. You had me going pretty good there. But hey, we thought we had the game warden coming in.
I was having the game warden coming out. Well,
all was well.
But I will tell you, not mentioning no names, but I've got a few of them guys that when they need something out of season, they come out, so they don't bother me too much because they know, we pretty much abide by the rules. So
yes, we do, and we have a good time down there. I thought this year's was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people there, and I wasn't sure how that was going to go, and I thought it was a fun time. Everyone got along, and we even brought Waylon finally out of his stupor, and we were good to go.
Yeah.
So Eric says in the hills it's 60 mountain lions or 40 females. So there we go.
Okay. Yeah, that's gone up from a few years ago. So yeah.
And Gene, he said if the reflection, if you what's the idea? If you shoot in the reflecting eye, it is not a hog. That's right. And we figured that out really fast. And I had no clue until we got down there that was the policy. And I don't know of any other animals. I suppose there's other animals that way, but that was the first I encountered because everything up here, they were, I'm pretty sure guys put reflectors in their eyes so we could get them at night.
Right. And you can tell a lot down here by the color of them too.
Yeah, and most of the ones I think
red eyes are normally alligators, and green eyes are raccoons, and yellow eyes are deer, and
Yep. Yeah. Red eye. I see a red eye coming at me, and it's a hog. We got problems.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Axe says, "Hey, thanks again for having us, Chris." And I'm sure that I know he appreciated that. Axe had a heck of a good time down there.
Hey man, I had a blast with you guys.
We can
Always
still
a lot
see you,
of fun.
Chris. It's kind of cool.
Oh, I
It's
know
like
my girls have got their survival flashlights out. So
it's like a floating head.
hey, it
Or
is
hollow-
October,
hollow-
you know.
Our Halloween edition.
Halloween.
There we go.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, there's Clay with his toy.
Put the spotlight on your dad.
Get the monster voice out there, yeah. So I'll tell you what, we're
Yeah.
coming about 10 minutes to the top of the hour. I think we're going to take our break again, pay some bills here, and thank our sponsors. So we'll be back. This is a little bit longer one. I think it's about 4 or 5 minutes. So if you need to take a break, you know what that means. So we'll see
Yeah,
everybody
there you go.
here right after the break again with Chris Hawk from Lake Placid, Florida.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
Ever tried catching a fish with your bare hands or hunting a deer with a stick? Don't be that guy. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we've got all the hunting and camping gear you need. We're your one-stop shop for outdoor adventure.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Check us out at mandansportinggoods.com, or better yet, stop in to 210 East Main Street, Mandan, North Dakota. Mandan Sporting Goods, where the outdoors meets functionality. Store hours, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Closed Sunday. Take up arms at Mandan Sporting Goods. Your adventure starts here.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
Yeah, hey, look, I got the moves like Michael, the flow like Aubrey, walk around thinking I'm a prince like Saudi. Mismatched Converse, t-shirts tucked in, know my worth, can't tell me nothing. White Nikes, albino, can cop my stilo, head to the top, bottom line is a motto.
And we are back, everybody.
We are.
Hey, so
All right.
power's back on, it looks like.
Yeah, power's back on, man. Hey, I'll tell you what, we got over 50,000 linemen in the state of Florida, and I give kudos for all them guys.
Absolutely. Just like up here, when they go out into the blizzards, we can't do it without them, and they keep the power on.
That's right, man. They're the true heroes.
So Dave asks, he says, Chris, will you be coming out this way to hunt pheasant? Well, I'll let you answer that because we were just talking about that.
Absolutely. We were just talking about it. I'm going to try to get out there for 3 or 4 days before the season ends this year.
Yep, absolutely. And we'd love to have you. Like I said, I got a few birds again that I feel comfortable actually hunting for a change.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it here, Chris. You know, our trees that are down there to the south of us.
Right.
You know, we hunted those while you and Carrie were here. I must have counted at least a dozen on the one end, and then when I come back through there on the other side, there was another dozen or so. So I was happy, and they were mostly roosters, a few hens in there. But then I get to the other side over here, and I go out into the creek area up to the northeast here, and holy cow, coming off of that field and into that grass, I was like, wow, my birds are back. So I'm happy to see that because it's been a long time since I've had good birds here. And I still got turkeys. Always got turkeys. Eric, I got a nice big tom. He's back here. You have to come out here and bring your kids again because there's a big tom out there.
Yeah, I got a pile of Osceola gobblers out there this year.
So you got a different turkey. Do you do you actually have anyone hunt them, or do you allow people to hunt them? Or I guess I'll just ask.
Know, my wife, I don't give a shit about turkey hunting, to be honest with you. I like eating them, but
I like eating them. I'm not I've shot a few now, and and maybe it's because I haven't had to experience a real hunt in a way, because I haven't had to call them. They're so they're so tame around here. I can go out and get turkey anytime. So maybe that's part of it. But
they're like standing behind your chickens and everything, trying to blend in.
I had one guy from Grand Forks that I know, and he wanted to get a turkey. I said, all right, come on out. I put him up on the river up there. And I think he got one, but he had 3 tags to fill. And, oh, man, they're just tough hunting. I said, tell you what, come to my place tomorrow. We were going to have him over for supper anyway. And he comes on and said, well, let's walk up there by my barn. He goes, really? I said, yeah. Well, he filled both his tags with one shot. He lined them up and took out 2 of them. Easiest hunt he ever had. So,
hey, man.
But I had
like way to do it.
30-some turkeys hanging around here at that time, and they need to be thinned out. We've got them manageable now, so I'm happy with where they're at. I do have a deer up here. I got 2 of them I found, and remember I was telling you about them 3x2s? Well, yeah, they're unfortunately, they have bred, and they've spread that horrible gene.
I got to get rid of them.
I think I'm going to actually use my tag this year to take one out, just a kind of like a management buck, and I got if somebody else gets one, great. The boys both have deer tags. So we're going to try to get them out of the herd, at least the ones here on the place.
Well, you know the old saying, Clay, you can't eat horns.
Nope, can't eat them and get rid of them if they're bad.
That's right. That's right.
My whitetails are recovering. Now, nothing like down on your place. You guys, holy cow, the whitetails you have down there. But your whitetails are smaller than ours. I noticed that down there. But,
yeah, your dogs are bigger than my deer.
Yeah. Now our mule deer, they're pretty good size, but I can tell you right now that the whitetails are still recovering, and I think we had a touch of possibly EHD going through, because I found a really, really nice buck this year dead, which was a shame to see. I don't know if you can see this, but
still had the fur on it. Yeah.
Can you see that, Chris? That was a nice white.
I do.
And found him dead back in my creek, and I found a doe. It was unfortunate because I've been watching that deer all summer, so I knew he was around. But hey, you know what? That's the way it goes. Yep. I know the genetics are still here, so I guess we'll just keep rebuilding the herd. And I'm not going to let anybody take any whitetails off the place this year. So, chat.
Antlers, not horns, huh?
Antlers, not horns. Yep. 710 Nation.
Hey, man, I guess I need to learn to talk the lingo.
Yeah, he says 3x2 will make a good cap rack Euro mount. There you go. And then we got just the right guy. We got Eric Newman. He's my official taxidermist there, Grizz's Taxidermy. So he does a great job. He does all of mine, and I can't say enough. He's done a great job on my stuff.
Well, I'd like to shoot something once in my life that actually is worthy taking to him personally, but
this is your year, Mike.
This is my year.
So
there you go.
In November, right? Still planning.
November, right?
And I know that I know where you're staying. You're going to be staying in that house we got. See, I got a house. We got a house we can use in town now, right there in Morristown, Chris. So you don't have to go all the way down to the cabin.
There you go.
Right there in Morristown.
Hey man, I like the cabin.
Oh, cabin's nice, but if it gets too late, I usually got to winterize that. The heat in the house in Morristown is way better than down there. So
let me tell you something about my first trip out there, and he put us out there at the cabin. They took me and Carrie out there to the cabin and then said, all right, guys, as far as you can see this way, as far as you can see that way, and this way and that way, you can't get lost. And then left. I looked at my buddy and I said, he don't know us too well, does he? I mean, we had mule deer hopping around right there on that hill right there to the south of us. And I'm thinking, Carrie, we could probably shoot one of these deer, have it skinned and mostly eaten before they even show back up.
That was probably
true. I abided by the rules. I was a good guy.
That's the only problem down there. You got to kind of mind your rules because you're on Bureau of Rec land, where the cabin sits, and you're surrounded by Forest Service land in the grasslands, and they do watch that area because
they got nothing better to do.
So you got to be a little careful.
Right. Yeah,
and there's birds.
They were just setting up.
I mean, there's rabbits, grouse, pheasant. I mean, you name it, it's all down there.
Oh yeah.
You're flickering
going
again,
out again. Oh yeah, flickering again.
Well, that's expected, I would think.
Oh yeah. But,
well, and then I guess I got another question for you. Those hogs, when you have a hurricane, how do they fare through this? I mean, does it really affect them? I mean, they're so populated down there, and you
not really.
I figured not. They just kind of keep flourishing.
No, I mean, they'll lay down in them swamps and the mud, and and that wind will blow right over them. I mean, they're gonna lay up and get out of the weather. Anything will.
Right.
But I've been through several hurricanes in my life, and the outdoors. Matter of fact, as soon as I'm able to, I'm going to the ranch in the morning to check on things. And I've never seen any widespread death of any animals due to a hurricane.
That's good to hear.
I mean, it's like anything else.
They kind of know.
A tree could fall on them. I mean,
right. I mean, it's just like here. Pheasants, which weren't native to here, they were brought over. So they suffer quite a bit, especially in a blizzard. But grouse, they come through it pretty good. The native born animals, they do well. I mean, you're going to lose a few depending on how bad it is. But for the most part, and coyotes never seem to take a hit.
No.
They always survive. Oh, here. Let's see. Doug just put up there. Axe did. Well, yeah, that's what we're just talking about. Does wildlife sense something is coming, like the change in the barometric pressure? Probably, I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
One thing I will say up here, I'm a little bit concerned when I was on with Scott Buckmeyer last weekend. He said that he shot some coyotes and they're in prime. Now, we just went through an 80-degree day here. It's supposed to be 89 tomorrow, which is that's unseasonably hot up here. It truly is. I mean, we're still running the air tonight, Chris. Think of that. We're in North Dakota on October 9th running the AC. So if that's just not normal.
And I don't know what yours is scheduled.
The government may be onto something about global warming there, Clay. Hell.
Or either that they fired up HARP and it's on purpose, but who knows?
There you go.
All I know is that the coyotes are in prime. To me, that tells me that there's a possibility that it's going to change on a dime and it's going to get cold because, it's like you were saying, the animals know, and the animals know the changes are coming. They know when the time of year to do it. And if they're primed up already, that's a bad sign because that means it's going to get cold generally.
Well, I was out in the fields today. We're doing this thing where it's a harvest lunch for our radio station. So we take out food to the fields for like 15 or so guys out there working in some farm operations. We'll do it for like 2 weeks. And so, today, beautiful day, but mid 80s. It's going to be 80s tomorrow. And then by I think then we're gonna have a couple of days of 70s, and then it's supposed to be our Sunday is supposed to be 58. So yeah, it's a big switch. But I think a lot of our weather though has been kind of affected by the hurricanes down south too, because it's normally it pushes up some moisture and whatnot, but we're not really getting very much at all right now. It's
a lot of times when a hurricane hits down there, that moisture makes its way up. So a lot of guys are chiming in on this now. So Josh, he says record high today in Bismarck, broke the record set in 1955 or something like that. Yeah, absolutely. Doug, he said it almost froze overnight 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we didn't have the frost here, but it's just a little ways and down, down in a little lull area. Yeah, they did. They actually had some frost. So normal is a setting on the dryer. I'm guessing dryer. Is that what he's trying to say?
Yeah.
DJ there, Doug Thompson, 11 years ago. I remember this one. Atlas hit 5 days from now in the rapid area. Not just there, Doug. It hit everywhere up here. We got hit by it. I actually, 11 years ago, was trying to get back from Williston, North Dakota. We done the event up there and didn't get hit up there. But as I made my way, I was staying at Scott's that night. And then I went from the Bowman area, started heading to the east towards my place. And I sat in Hettinger, North Dakota for 6 or 7 hours while they were plowing the roads out because there was like 11 or 12 semis that were stuck on a curve because one got stuck and it just blew them in. And they were all loaded with cattle. That was horrible. But yeah, the Atlas was a bad storm. We were prepared for it, so we didn't lose any livestock. And we had our generator going, so we were good. But we prepped for it. They were talking it was going to happen, and it did. So
it did.
Let's see. Eric said, he goes, I got a yoke the other day, and it was pathetic looking. Okay, so there's a different area. Scott's up there quite a bit farther north, but he said it was not in good shape. Jamie says, I was scraping frost off my side-by-side windshield at the farm last weekend. So 701 Nation, Jamie, and that's where I'm heading this weekend is up there. So, And Jeannie says, I listened to the weather band NOAA radio. They put out record highs and lows for the day. Some highs and lows are 75 years ago. So tells you, I don't know. Is weather changing? I don't know. I think it's an anomaly, basically.
It's secular.
But this weekend, it's sounding great for opening a pheasant hunting up there around Golden Valley. I'm really looking forward to it and going to go up there and have some fun. Taking Leighton with me. Landon doesn't want to go. So, hey, we'll take him with. And we haven't had a lot of shotgun time. So hopefully tomorrow we can get behind the shotguns and see if we still have the touch. I don't know. I remember when Chris and Carrie came out, I might have even I waited for you guys to shoot first generally.
No. You were just hot dogging it. Hell, I didn't even have the gun thrown to my shoulder yet, Clay. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, damn it, Clay.
I used to live for pheasant hunt. I still love the pheasant hunt. I really do. But I was pretty handy with a shotgun, and I don't know. I was out here a while ago. I'm not too bad with one yet. I'm not like I was, but I don't shoot as much as I used to either. So I shoot a rifle more than anything now.
Clay, if he's like I don't know, he has like a flashback from his great grandfather in fighting the Japanese or something. He thinks the zeros are coming in every time he sees a pheasant.
Yeah, you've been pheasant with me, haven't you?
Yeah.
And Mike, I'm glad Mike has a license. At least we can at least get him 3 birds.
Yeah. At least.
That's the nice thing living where I do. I can buy the North Dakota one. And I can buy the non-resident South Dakota, and I can buy a tribal. Well, the tribal used to be 5 birds, and North and South Dakota were each 3. So I could technically take 11 birds in a day. That was great, all in the same place. I mean, I got the tribal ground just to the east of me, literally across my road. I got North Dakota private ground, which is ours, and then I got South Dakota just on the other side of the trees. I literally I didn't have to travel more than probably 500 yards in a radius, and I could fill all 3 licenses. So that was kind of nice.
We got Plankerton is having their pheasant feed coming up here soon. I'm going to look forward to that. It's always a good one. So they love that.
I love the shotgun trench. It's a trench club for me. That's what he says a shotgun is. It's definitely a trench gun. Jamie and I did a hell of a good deal about that gun being a weapon of war and a trench gun. We did on the Model 12s and all the shotguns that were used at that time. So that was kind of fun. DJ says, definitely need some moisture around the Watford and Ray Tioga area. That's everywhere.
Yeah.
I was telling Chris that. Remember, I said it's so dry up here. It's really kind of like a tinderbox, and we had good rains, so there's a lot of
we got on the side of the roads right now. It especially this time of night, it looks like there's a little fog, but it's all that dust from all the beans and everything out that they're doing out in the fields, and you know, so it's just it's hanging there on the edges of the road.
A lot of guys aren't even farming, they're not cutting right now because it is so dry and they don't want to start a fire. We've had plenty of that.
Yeah.
Jamie says 701 Nations, first time ever I'm going to be hunting with a 410. Damn shoulder surgeries have caught up to me. So that'll be kind of fun. 410. Any of you guys ever shot 410 at pheasants or birds?
No, not at pheasants or birds, but I'll tell you what, I have been ever since Henry came back out with that lever action. That's what I've been wanting to get for. I think put a sling on that going out. That'd be fun to shoot at grouse or shoot at pheasants.
There's your next gun, Mike.
I'm telling you, that's what I want. And I know a guy down here that's got a bunch of them hanging on his wall right now. He'd love to sell me a few. So
there you go. Well, I'm really hoping that this is gonna, my money's as good as anybody else's. So I'm really, really hoping that this might be my next gun. And I can't say what this is. I think y'all can figure it out because we don't want to get nixed. But they did a hell of a job on that at A&A Engraving. So maybe I'll have the lucky number, right?
Maybe.
We'll see. But I don't know. 410, I've used them. I've hunted. I tried it on partridge, and it wasn't the gun; it was the partridge. Them babies fly really fast, and I did not get. I've shot doves with a 410 in the past. I mean, I got a 410 hanging on the wall over there, and I don't know. There's nothing wrong. I enjoy my 16 gauge I love that shotgun. It's a good all around shotgun for just about anything, and it'll take pheasants down. So I don't know. That's what I prefer. Is my 16 and my 12.
Yep.
Okay, we got Doug. He says over 90,000 acres have burnt since Saturday. I heard there's a hell of a fire up there in that Watford area, and I understand they've lost a couple guys. One fire sounded like one of his pumps. It blew something and hit him in the head or something. Yep. I didn't get the details. If you know, go ahead and tell us. But they've already lost a couple people up there. It sounds like. Tropical storm winds did not help over the weekend here in North Dakota as far as holding moisture. Yeah, we had some pretty nasty winds up here, Chris, that were reaching 45 and 50 mile an hour gusts. What's that, about a Cat 1?
No, Cat 1 isn't Cat 1 75?
I don't even know. Chris probably.
I think 75.
Oh,
so
did we lose Chris?
It's tropical. It's tropical. Yeah, there you go. It's a tropical storm up until 75, 74, and then 75 is a Cat 1. So yeah.
I'm surprised we've been able to keep Chris on as long as we did. I mean, the powers I know have been flashing in and out of there, and they're running on a mobile connection right now. But eventually, them cell towers will go down there too. So. Okay.
One thing I heard about
8 animals up there in Watford. There we go.
Yeah. One thing I heard about down in Florida is that what is it you've got? You've got the Elon Musk satellite thing. What's that called?
Starlink. Yeah.
Now Starlink is taking kind of a hit with the storms down in Florida. So apparently it's not as good with that type of storm. But I guess with the winter, I mean, what is really? I mean, when
here's what happened with Starlink. The satellites are out there. I mean, they're circling the globe, right? That's the system. And then you have the repeaters on Earth. There's actually one up by the Reader area, Reader Scranton, if I remember right, that serves this area. So you still got to have those repeaters, but if you lose those repeaters, you're kind of screwed. There he's back. Are you back with us? Well, he froze up. He was back with us. There we go. Can you hear us?
I don't. Can you see me?
I can see you.
We got you.
We're there.
Oh, we had you. Can we still hear him though? That's the main thing.
What do we got Doug commenting with
there
up there?
We go.
There
we go.
So Doug, he says,
young
kid, he's in fair condition. The extinguisher blew up. That's what his guy up by Tioga lost life trying to save horses, and ranch hand from South Africa lost his life. So there we go. So yeah, there's been some casualties in those fires up there, and that's our big thing. Right now, is fires are happening everywhere. Josh, he says, I was looking at a semi-auto 28 gauge. to play around with. Thinking about getting a 20 over and under for trap. 28's fun. I haven't had one for a while. Nothing wrong with a 28 gauge. They're a lot of fun to shoot trap with, especially. Yeah, either one. You know what I say to you, Josh? Why choose? Get one of each.
Yeah, there you go.
Can never have too many guns.
That's true.
So Doug says, I think that there was 60+ mile-an-hour winds in Bismarck over the weekend. Wow. Yeah, that's moving pretty good. For here, that's moving.
Yeah.
I don't like wind. I hate the wind. But it's necessary, I guess.
Yeah.
Sometimes it brings us moisture, but not very often.
So what, Clay? You've had a couple of shows up in your area for like in Mobridge and whatnot in the last couple of weeks, and I know Gene talked about that. What you got coming up your area sometime soon?
Tell you the truth, I haven't checked it out. I know Lemon generally does one. I think it's even a Dakota territory one, but I don't know of any shows right now coming up. Bismarck already had theirs in September, and Mobridge just got done with theirs. So
and I know we don't normally talk about it, but my boss is pretty good with the guns, so he got me tickets to that last banquet, and he's bought a table for the pheasants banquet coming up right before the opening of pheasants either here at the Corn Palace. So hoping my next gun will come from that. So
I do October. I got to look at the date here. We do have there's a Friends of NRA banquet happening October 25th in Mandan. It's one of the few that are in North Dakota this year.
Right.
Actually, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law run that one. Gunshows, we got Watford City coming up on October 25th to the 27th. Sioux Falls, and that's happening November 16th to the 17th. December 7th to the 8th is West Fargo, North Dakota. They always hold that out at the Red River Valley Fairgrounds, if I remember right. And then again, Sioux Falls coming up after the first year, January 4th to the 5th. And I think that's their trophy show, January 4th through the 5th. Brookings, January 11th to the 12th. And then Bismarck, January 18th to the 19th. That's the ones I know of right now off the top of my head, I guess, looking at their deal here. So got a lot of them coming up.
And I think we might have we're checking on it now, but we might have a new NRA rep for the Dakotas. We're thinking
I found out it is the Wyoming rep that's taking care of that.
Yeah, Rapid City.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's leaning over to Rapid. So maybe a new one showing up in Rapid here soon too. So we'll see on that.
So DJ says that the gun show and the NRA banquet in Watford are on the same weekend. Okay, so they got Watford going again. But glad to hear that.
No, that's good.
Guys, Friends of NRA is still a great organization, still a great program. I mean, we were doing a lot of money in the Dakotas, funding a lot of grants, and it was just too bad that they picked the wrong person after I retired, and things fell apart. But hopefully they can rebuild. I'd like to see them do that.
And that guy's working for government again, doing absolutely nothing. Go figure that one.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Chris, you guys got NRA banquets down in your country still, or don't you know?
Yes and no. I mean, they every once in a while they'll have some down here.
Okay, I know that the NRA.
We were doing the
turkeys. Yep. Oh,
try that again. You're breaking up.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Turkey
you didn't lose me, but it's just spotty.
Yeah, yep. I know you did a turkey federation banquet too, didn't you, or was part of one? Oh,
right, Turkey Federation. Yes, I was a member of National Turkey Federation until that got petered out down here too.
Yep. So Brian, he says, don't forget about Jake's event in Baker, November 9th. Yeah, that's their big wild game feed, and that is on the opener of North Dakota deer season here. So just keep that in mind that event's going on. Brian wanted to pass that along, and thank you for doing that. I forgot to actually mention that.
And we're going to have a part of the show that's cryptive. Yeah, here we go for our cryptive friends of talking about skunk apes near Lake Placid.
Do you see that, Chris? He says,
yeah, I can see it a little bit. Yeah.
He says, has there been any skunk ape sightings near Lake Placid? I haven't
seen any skunk apes. I've seen some skunk rats, but not skunk apes.
Not skunk apes. There you go, Doug. There you go. Yeah. Maybe put an open season out on them, right?
Yeah.
There
It's
you
not,
go.
it's not a problem until we need to put a season open on it. There we go.
There you go. There you go.
I wonder
So,
if their eyes
just-
shine or not.
I don't know.
Right. They don't come to the ranch, you know. I mean, they
So we
kind of
got a
scared
few-
of that down there.
Got a couple announcements here because we usually try to keep this at about an hour and a half. So 701 Nation, episode 23, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain. JD is going to have Axel Hondo, otherwise Doug Wolf. He's going to be coming on tomorrow and joining him. They're going to be talking about 18 reasons why Americans should relinquish their guns, according to a leftist website. I'm glad he put that in there. BLM throws recreational shooters off of the Bears Ears National Monument down in Utah. That ought to be an interesting subject. And of course, the happy ending of the week. All this powered by Lauer Auto Repair, Bismarck, North Dakota. They also power the Guns in the 701. Been here since the beginning with us. Lauer Auto Repair right down there in Bismarck, 309 South Washington. You don't want to miss out. Hunting seasons are here. Get that vehicle in there and make sure it's tuned up and ready to go, especially if you're Chevy. You're going to need all the help you can get. Anyway, Lauer Auto Repair, Bismarck, North Dakota. And, of course, 701 Nation's also sponsored by HHGunshop.com, MandanSportingGoods.com, LittleAngryManArms.com, and BloodlineKinetics.com. Also all sponsors of Gun in the 7-1. We also have, let's see if I get this right this time, Jamie. The next governor of North Dakota, Mr. Kelly Armstrong, is going to be joining myself and Jamie on the 16th next week. We want to have Kelly on before the election here. He's an avid hunter and shooter, and he actually knows what he's talking about.
Right.
You can talk hunting, you can talk shooting, reloading. It's a great conversation. We're going to have him on, and I really do believe he'll be elected. He'll probably be the most Second Amendment governor North Dakota's ever had. So we're glad to have Kelly joining us next week, Wednesday, on the 16th. Of course, 7 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Central in the PM. You don't want to miss out on that show. And don't want to miss out this Friday, Mitchell in the morning. I'll be on there with Todd Mitchell, as I am every single Friday morning, KFYR 5:50 a.m. Or you can actually watch it or hear it on iHeartRadio as well. That's at 8:15 Central in the morning, 7:15 Mountain. And I think we're going to have a few interesting conversations and topics for the show. I'll get out more of that out tomorrow. By the way, Fascist Book has essentially unpublished our Guns in the 701 page. Don't know if it's coming back, and that's why we've switched over to Sturm Wesson. It's the new one. It says GAT, and it says 701 on it, so that we didn't have to put the numbers in there. We'll see how that goes. I see a few people are listening tonight.
Right.
We're encouraging everybody, get over to X. There's no problems at X. Rumble, there's been people, I'm looking now, there's people on Rumble. So we appreciate everybody just switching over and finding those new
Chris,
platforms.
if things get really bad and they shut us down on too many things, I've told Clay we're going over to OnlyFans. So
Okay.
we'll have those sensor marks in front of our parts of our body or whatever, in front of our eyes and everything, but that'll be fine.
Yeah,
man. Y'all come on down. Hey, and also, while I'm thinking about it, this has been fun tonight. Y'all remind me when you're having your shows and all, so I can try to sign on now that Clay sent me the link.
Yeah,
and I was fortunate enough to have my daughter here to sign me up because you know I'm not very good on computers. So
well,
no, you did fine.
Tell Marissa we appreciate that, and I figured she could help you out on that, so that was great.
Oh yeah, she says she's always a pleasure to help.
All right, good to hear, and I know she's got them youngins there, and then them are your pride and joy, all your grandkids. So,
That's right, buddy.
It might be a hurricane party, camping out, but it's not that bad, is it, with everybody there?
No, with their family there.
No.
The family, the grandkids.
As long as my family's here and I know they're safe.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's
the
good.
most important part. Jamie says, if we get on OnlyFans, we're going to have to do these live streams naked.
That's okay. You can't see us from the waist down anyway. So what do you care? I mean, just imagine we're that way now.
Oh,
I've seen worse at Walmart late at night. All right, please. I mean, it would probably be an improvement.
Josh says, I still can't get into my.
I'm not scared to take clothes off if that's what we got to do.
All right, we got Chris on for us. There we go. That's 2 votes.
Hey, I'm down. Let's do it.
There we go. Or should it be this? Well, I'll tell you what. I have got one story I want to do before we leave, and it is. Oh, that's the wrong one.
What you got there?
Well, I thought I had it ready to go. I thought I had my thug plug story. What I do with it? I might not have it tonight. You got one tonight, Mike?
I got nothing because I don't have access to anything, and so.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I don't. I thought I had it printed out, but I'm not going to worry about it tonight.
No
Chris,
thug
I don't
plug
know if
for
you got
tonight.
anything else you want to leave everybody with tonight.
Well, it's like I said, it's been a pleasure, and I guess we all gonna be safe down here, so no worries.
And that was the main thing, and that's why I was checking in with you. I always think about it when I see those things happening down there. I got family that actually lives over in Okeechobee too. So you got you down in Lake Placid area. They're in Okeechobee. You got Chris. He's up there northern part of Florida, and yeah, I know quite a few people out there now. So yeah, I'd like to know that their well-being's okay when I hear about the hurricanes. Doug says,
pass on my number and have them call me if they need something.
nope. And I'm looking forward to getting down there again, and I'm pretty sure everybody is as well. And we just can't thank you enough for having us every year when we come down there to do some hog hunting, Chris.
Hey, buddy, always a pleasure. Life is an adventure, man.
Oh, absolutely. And we still got to get you back up here, not just for hunting. We need to go down to the hills and just show you the Black Hills, the places you can't see that you don't know about.
And as touristy as Deadwood is, I went through some of the bourbon on one side and the whiskey on the other side tours and stuff like that, and was doing samplings because I had some bedtime, and I might have bought a few bottles of some stuff for it. So yeah, I'm waiting for Jamie to have drinks in the 701 again. Now I got a couple of good bottles of South Dakota stuff.
Hey, we'll have to do that here, and maybe Chris wants to join us for drinks in the 701.
So
what we do is we get together and we get a few guys on here and we sample new and whatever you want, beer, whiskey.
From whatever area you're from that has a special drink, that's usually what you get, something from your local.
And just review it.
And we review it, and we talk crap, and we threaten everybody that we're going to be on OnlyFans. So there you go. That's what we do.
So, all right, everybody.
I like it.
Tell you what, I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Thanks to our sponsors, Lauer Auto Repair, and we can't do it without great sponsors like Lauer Auto Repair, Bloodline Kinetics, Little Angry Man Arms, Double H Gun Shop, and of course, you don't want to forget Mandan Sporting Goods. I'll tell you what, without our great sponsors, we can't get this done. So appreciate all of everybody supporting them. If you go in there, tell them you heard it on Guns in the 701 because they like to hear that. Chris, thanks for joining us from Florida. Looks like
thanks for having me, and looking forward to seeing everybody soon.
There we
go.
All
right. With that, everybody, keep your powder dry, and we'll see everybody next week right here with Kelly Armstrong. But don't forget about Friday. Me and Todd on Mitchell in the morning, 7:15 Mountain, 8:15 Central in the morning. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.
God bless and have a good one.